up, guys? It's your girl, Dedicated Diva, and welcome back to week number 2. I will be talking about your business. I will be going over benefits of owning a business, things you needed to get started, and choosing a name. Now, benefits of owning your own business. One, you get to turn something that you love and turn your hobby into a career. Basically, if you have any type of hobby like being a gamer, you like to chat, you want to be a podcaster, you want to be a content creator on YouTube, you want to be a virtual assistant, you can turn that hobby into your career. It's something that you can, possibly make thousands and millions off of. A lot of gamers do it every single day. Now, number 2, you will be able to make as much or as little as you want to. I know a lot of people think that owning your own business, you have to put your all into it. Now, you can put your all into it and pour your heart out into it, and you will, make a lot of money back off of that. Or sometimes people just, need that little extra nudge just to know they can do it, and you can start making a little bit and, just one day go full blown into it and make thousands. Number 3, you get to retire when you please. I know a lot of people in the past, they used to look forward to retiring when they get 60 something or 70 something years old. You have so many people now that's retiring in their late 20s, early 30s, because there's so many different ways to make money now. Number 4, you get to pick who you want to work with. Now, if you are a content creator, if you are a gamer, you're a podcaster, you can work with whoever you want to work with. I know this is big for me because I'm an extreme introvert. This is why I don't do live streams, because it freaks me out thinking about so many people that's going to be there. But I'm an extreme introvert. Now, I have times when I will think about working with people, but as of yet, I haven't. But you get to pick that. Now, if you work on your regular normal job, you have people that you have to work with and you just have to get over it. But if you own your own business, whether you're an introvert or not, or you're an extrovert, there you go, you can work with whoever you want to work with. Number 5, you can choose any location to work from. Now, I work from my bedroom most of the time. It's almost like night and day. We're over where my bed and my television and my dressers and different things like that. Everything on that side of the room looks totally different from the other side of the room that I use as my home office. You can work from your sister's place. You can work from your brother's place, your cousins, your granddaddy's, your beach home, your dream home, another country. It's your business, so you can work from wherever you like. Now, number 6, you get to make all of the decisions. Who don't like doing that? You get to make every decision. You get to write out your contracts the way you feel like it. And hey, whoever you're working with got to deal with it. Now, number 7, you have the ability to have a very flexible schedule. That means you can work whenever you please. You're creating your own schedule as long as you be consistent, which I need to do more of. But as long as you're being consistent, you can work whenever you want to. And number 8, you are your boss and you have all of the control. You have full control over your own business. You are the make or break factor, basically. So if your business go downhill, it's your fault. If it succeeds, it's your fault. Now, a lot of people find that to be a little scary sometimes, but if you don't jump in and do something, how would you ever know if you're going to succeed or not? Now, we're going to talk about the equipment that you need. Now, when I initially made this slide, I was thinking about being a virtual assistant, but this also can help you if you're being a content creator, a gamer, or a podcaster. Like, for instance, I'm going to put this up on my podcast because a lot of people don't know the equipment that's needed to get started. Now, some people get started on a phone, some people get started on a tablet. Me, myself, when I got started, I had my own phone, like my own cell phone, smartphone, iPhone, whatever you want to call it. I have my own phone. If you have your own phone line, you can get Google Voice. Google Voice is basically where you connect it with your phone line. It's totally free. You can connect it with your phone, well, with your phone number, and it does not have to call your phone whatsoever, but you can make it where it calls other devices, or it don't have to call other devices and it goes straight to voicemail and people just leave you voicemails. And so I find that that came in handy when I was dealing with clients. That's how I had everyone call me, because I didn't want everyone else, I didn't want everyone calling my personal line. Now, it would be very helpful if you had a computer or a laptop. Mac or PC is just fine. Now, I found PC for me to be a little bit more easier, because there's certain programs on a Mac that's just, I just didn't feel like dealing with. For instance, Adobe Connect and Zoom. I had times where my client wanted to talk to me through those platforms and it would not open. So sadly to say, I sent my Mac back maybe at the end of the week. That I literally had my Mac for about a week and I had to get rid of it just because I felt like my PC was more reliable. Now, you also have to have high speed internet. That's when you're doing anything, whether you're a virtual assistant, you're going to be a content creator, you're going to be a podcaster, a gamer. You need high speed internet. I had AT&T maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and then I had to get Xfinity because AT&T was trash. Basically, I hate to say that, but they were trash, and I had to switch over to Xfinity, and I haven't had a problem since then. You also, or it would be helpful to have a printer, a scanner, and a smartphone. Now I'm going to group all of those together because of the Google Voice and the printer and the scanner. If you are a person like I am, and sometimes just say you want to go over your content that you're going to put down, like I do podcasts and I like to type up everything and print it off, and when I talk about a certain topic, I just like to highlight it or cross it out. That's where a printer and a scanner come in handy, and a dedicated email. You don't need anything that you have to pay for. You need a Gmail or the Google email, and that's fine. Now we're going to talk about choosing a name. Now, when it comes to choosing a name, you want to search to make sure that there is no other businesses that has that name. For instance, I tried my best to make sure no one else had this name that I'm using for my podcast, my YouTube, and my gaming channel, just so I wouldn't step on anyone's toes, because you don't want to choose a name and someone end up looking for you and end up finding the wrong person. That's a no. Now, later on down the line, which I'm in works of doing right now, you may want to get a trademark. May want to trademark your name after you have done so much with it, so no one else would take it. But in the instance where, just say you had a name for 2 or 3 years, like I have, maybe even more than that, and someone takes that name and get ready to use it, and they get ready to put a trademark on it, or they actually end up putting a trademark on it, you can actually take them to court to get that trademark removed, because you've had it for longer and they just stuck with trying to find another name. Now, if I can find the details and more of that, I talked to an attorney about it, and if I can find those transcripts, I will give them to you guys. But basically, you want to try to find a name that no other business have. And when you try to find that name, try to pick a name that is not hard to spell. Now, if you pick a name that's hard to spell, who gonna look for you? I was looking for someone just the other day, and her first name was so easy, and her last name had like 15 to 18, letters. I'm like, ugh, like, how am I supposed to find you if I know what it sounds like, but if I don't know how to spell it, how do I supposed to find you? So try to pick a name that's not hard to spell. Also, don't pick a name that would not be specific for your type of business. Like, if you want to put like all cats here, but your business cater to dogs, that wouldn't make sense. Try to make sure your business and the name go hand in hand. Like when I chose Dedicated Diva, dedicated because I'm always there. I'm gonna always be there. If you guys ever write to me on anything, I'm always there to answer. I have my YouTube, I have everything connected to one of my devices where if I get anything, any type of response, I'm able to respond to you guys. You will also want to try to pick a name that has a meaning in behind it. Now, when I say that, for instance, Dedicated Diva, I tried to choose a name that had meaning in behind it for myself. I sat down for a while to think about the name Dedicated Diva just because I wanted something where, that one day when my subscribers get to meet me, they'd be like, okay, you're a dedicated diva. This is why, I see why basically. You also, something that you're gonna, sorry about that, something that you want to do, you want to get feedback from the people who are close to you. You basically want to go sit down and say, hey, I'm, creating something and I'm choosing this name to go by. This is why. What do you guys think? Now, don't go pick like the stupid person or don't go pick the idiot to go ask because of course they're gonna give you the wrong feedback. Don't ask anyone also if they may want to do the same thing you want to do because that's like duh. But go talk to someone that you really care about to see what they feel about your name and how they feel about it. And just welcome the feedback, just see what they have to say. Let's see. Oh, and you also want to say the business name out loud to see how it sounds. Now, funny story. For just around 3 years, maybe four, I've had this name on YouTube. Now, my daughter, she's 7. And just a couple months ago, she actually found out what my YouTube name was. One time, just one day, I was in the house cleaning and cooking and, just moving around, dancing around in the kitchen like I normally do. And she was like, hey, Dedicated Diva. I'm like, I smiled and I chuckled because I'm like, okay, that really does sound good when someone says it out loud. And, I was blushing and all that extra, but it sounds good out loud. It's just, if someone was to call me that in public, I'd be like, hey, you don't want to choose something where, for instance, if it's like butt face stink and you think that would be a cute name to have on your YouTube channel, but when people see you out in public, they say, hey, butt face stink. 9 times out of 10, you're going to be so embarrassed the first couple of times you hear that. And I don't think that may be something that you want to go by for that long. So just think about it, get the feedback, say it out loud, make sure it has meaning, and see if there's something that you could work with. Now, last thing, you want to make sure it's something that you want to hear all of the time, because trust me guys, once my daughter found out that I chose Dedicated Diva, she has been calling me Dedicated Diva for weeks now. Now, she know when it's a little overboard, but she calls me Dedicated Diva every time she gets the chance. So just make sure it's something you want to hear all the time. And when she calls me, I chuckle and smile, because mostly it's because I'm proud of myself. I chose a name that I'm not irritated by, I'm not annoyed by. So yeah, just when you're choosing a name, think about how long that name is gonna stick with you. Think about some of your favorite YouTubers. If you listen to gamers, or maybe it's someone on the radio, and they have this you know name. For instance, Charlemagne the God. He's a radio personality. He has to hear that all the time, and he thought of something that was catchy, and when people say it, it means something to him. It means something to them. So just choose something that you know no one else has. It's not hard to spell. You want to pick something that really has something to say, about your personality. You want to have something that has, pick a name that has meaning behind it, get feedback, say it out loud to see what it sounds like, and make sure it's something that you want to hear. I'll see you guys next week.